Hi there, welcome back to another Python tutorial video, and in this tutorial I am going to be hunting down inefficient Python code. So in my last Python tutorial I wrote some inefficient code to demonstrate for you guys, and we tried to run a Python function is a loop which didn't turn out to be good and brought some errors for us. So let's just run this program and see what happens. So I have a CMD here and I'm gonna run the program, which is called inefficient.py, and there it goes, and that brings the maximum recursion depth exceeded error, the recursion error, because we tried to run a function, a Python function is a Python loop, which is not right because the Python function is not made to be run as a Python loop. So here we have commented the inefficient code and uncommented the efficient code, which does the same thing as the function above but a little bit efficiently. And this time when we run the program, it's going to print till 10,000. So this is the advantages of writing efficient code. You don't get bugs and errors in the long run. Code 1, which was inefficient, and code 2, which was efficient, does the exact same thing. If you are wondering what my code is about, what this code and this code is all about, then let me explain. We are trying to make a variable, name it count, and assign the value 0 to it. Then we are trying to add 1 to count and print count, and we want to do this until count becomes 100. So we want to do this until count becomes 100. We want to add 1 to the count, print count till count becomes 100. So I want Python to execute the following commands and add 1 to the count till a point comes where count becomes 100.
Correct.
So guys, in the last tutorial also I made a challenge.py in which when we run this program, here let me show you a demonstration. When we run challenge.py, and if we enter a letter, which is a string, and B and C, and then when we write the right integer, which is between 1 to 5, we get an error. And actually here we are writing an efficient code by trying to write loops out of Python function, and so it gave us this error. And let's see why it gives us this error. The error is a type error, and the type error is saying that the greater sign is not supported between instances of string and integer, which means the error is here. The error is here. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be commenting these lines, and I'm going to be printing user choose here. So I'm going to be printing user choose and saving it, and let's run it. To debug this program, A, B, C, and this brings up the error. Oh my god, what does it print? It prints, it runs 1, 2, 3, 4 times, while it should have run only 1 time. It prints 3, then C, then B and A, and it goes in a backward order. Now I'm going to be explaining to you why this happens and why this error comes. Hey, I am back, and I just changed the IDLE of Python to the Sublime text. this is the same code which I'm going to be explaining to you guys. Now let's put ourselves into the computer's shoes and go through what the computer is going through. Now we call main here, right? Pay attention. Let me open a notepad to demonstrate. Now we call main. Let's call main 1 because this is the first time main is running, and this time when it asks us to choose a number, we choose A instead of a number. It runs this block of code, says you didn't type in a number, freak hat, and again calls main. And then it calls main for a second time, which is main 2. B, this time we enter B, which again calls another main, which we enter C, calls another main, in which we enter 3. Now here's what's happening. Main 1 calls main 2, okay? And main 2 calls main 3, and main 3 calls main 4. We call main 1, but main 1 calls main 2, main 2 calls main 3, and main 3 calls main 4. Like it's like infinite. If we enter a lot, it's gonna go on like this, down, 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 down here. Now what's happening is when it finds out that we entered 3, it runs this, right? It prints user choose, which prints 3, and since this function has completed its job, it closes. But still main 3, who called main 4, remains. It didn't finish its job yet. It just executed this code. Now it has to execute this code, right? So it executes this code, in which user choose is C. There it prints C, and then main 3 closes, and main 2 is there, who called main 3. It has to print user choose since it completed this, so it prints B, and then it again prints A, like so. So this is where it happens all the mistake, because main 1 doesn't closes. It just calls main under its own function. So we have sub functions, okay? So this is where the error comes. Oops. So this is where the error comes. The error comes since we are saying if user choose. So here is where the error comes. If user choose, which we commented, if it was previously uncommented, so if user choose is greater than 5, and the first time, yes, it doesn't bring an error since user choose is 3, but when user choose becomes a string and becomes C, then it brings the error which it brought previously. Let me show you guys a demonstration. So I am going to make user a value and put A into it. Now this is just for testing purposes and for demonstration purposes, okay? So I'm going to say if user is greater than 5, then print hi. Now it's going to bring the same errors because user is not a number and user is a string. Well, let's hit enter. There we go, the same error. So I hope this clarified. This was a little complicated for you beginners, but come back to this video when you are in the intermediate level. I am hoping to do more better in the future because I am like teaching a mixture. I'm teaching a hybrid. I'm teaching a hybrid of beginners and intermediate people where I had to explain this because it'll come in handy later. If you didn't understand anything, don't worry, you will understand it some point in the future. Like, just keep this in mind and come back when you're a little bit of more knowledgeable. My next tutorials will be more fun and more easy to understand, and I will make it much simpler, I promise.